is up, and welcome to Ask DLF. This is Taco Tuesday. This is, maybe you like to call it, Waffle Wednesday. I'm having some technical difficulties getting started here. I apologize. Tyler, how are you today?
I'm good.
How is your homework leading up to the draft going right now while I try to fix myself here?
It's going.
It's going.
Yes.
Any movement?
Well, homework. I don't know what homework. I just updated all my rankings today, if you want to call that homework, I suppose. You muted again.
Your rankings.
Yeah, they're very updated. I think they're great.
Good. Okay. I think do I sound better now? I think I'm fixed for the most part here. This is Ask DLF. Like I said, Taco Tuesday, maybe. If you prefer Waffle Wednesday for our Wednesday crew over in Australia. Look, the goal of this show, we're going to answer as many of your fantasy football questions as we possibly can. Nobody answers more questions than this show, Tyler. Nobody. Because we have the best YouTube comment section in all of YouTube. You guys are fantastic. Even some of the ones that we don't get to, you guys do a great job of answering for each other. And there's some smart people in the chat. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. Get them in. We are going to be answering. I got somebody right here next to me, Tyler, who, like, you are about the most prolific writer that I know. You write all kind of articles, do a bunch of stuff on YouTube. What's the most recent article you've been doing that you can maybe give us a little sneak peek?
Sure. I just wrote an article about Kyle Pitts that's going to come out today, or come out. I wrote it today. Who knows when it's going to come out? It'll come out eventually. But it'll be good. I think the people will like it. I think it'll quell some of the panic. There shouldn't be panic, but if there's panic, I think there shouldn't be.
Very good. And you can find that where? Where can you find that article?
Well, you can find it at DLF. That's where all my articles are. And yeah, a lot of people don't know that I write articles. It might come as a surprise. So over half of my Twitter followers, probably they don't know that I write any articles. I don't talk about them very much. I talk about them on here, but I don't talk about them too much otherwise. But yeah, I do write a lot of articles. So it's nice.
At dynastyleaguefootball.com. And there's actually a special right now. We're brought to you by dynastyleaguefootball.com, obviously. Ask DLF. A lot of smart people over there. And we're partnered because through Betsperts, we've got Betsperts, we've got 4x4, excuse me. And we've got the Fantasy Life app, Matthew Berry. A lot of great content. You can get a membership bundle if you go check it out. It's really, really good time to invest because right now we're getting ready for our rookie drafts. We got trades that we're trying to figure out, trying to understand who to draft. And therefore, there's a lot of questions. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of those in the chat here tonight. Tyler, are you ready to get started?
I was born ready.
What better way to start than with the legend, Henry, who chimes in. Every wide receiver wants a new contract. Debo, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin. Debo wants to play in San Francisco. What is going on in the wide receiver market? Tyler.
Yeah, well, I was just checking my phone to make sure that Debo hadn't been traded in the last 10 minutes. You never know. Could happen. Could happen. I don't think we've ever had live news on this show. Do I look like I'm in like a dark dungeon or something?
Yeah, a little bit.
I almost used a word we're not supposed to use on this channel. I'll use it anyway. I don't care anymore. But I bought a light. Thought it was a good investment. This has nothing to do with the question. But someone put in the comments last week that they would put together a GoFundMe for a light. And I bought one. But now it looks like it's dark. Dark. This looks worse. Much worse. So I don't know what I did wrong. It looked good on my show yesterday. It looked good on my Patreon show. I don't know why it looks bad now. We'll have to look into that. But anyway, about these contracts. AJ Brown, I think they get the deal done. They've been the most unequivocal about wanting to keep him. And Debo looks like he's gone. That one looks done to me. Usually when you start hearing things like this, it's over. So I hope that the people who have your shares of Debo Samuel really enjoy having him on the Jets. I really think that's what's going to happen. Sorry. I feel bad for you. Now would be a good time to sell before you see the landing spot. And then McLaurin's more on the fence. I kind of had a little diatribe on McLaurin on my show yesterday, where I was like, I'm not paying Terry McLaurin $24 million. So only a dumb team is going to do that. Oh, look, the Jets are in the market for a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb team, Jets. How about Chicago? Incompetent team. Those would be ones.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, either way, it's a lot to come. And I think by the end of the NFL draft, we'll see these players moved or not moved.
A lot of interesting things going on in the wide receiver market. A lot of good wide receivers even in the draft right now. So going to be really interesting to see how everything shakes out there. Sean chimes in, says, what's up? What's up, Sean? Appreciate you tuning in. So look, you can ask a question. You can just tell us what's up if you're in the chat and you just want to say, hey, we appreciate that as well. Ryan came in early to ask about Debo. We touched on him a little bit. I'm sorry, Ryan. The legend Henry beat you to it. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you. Mystical says, let's friendly go, I think is what we decided that was. Not sure what else it could be. And says, I literally went to Taco Bell and got
words that starts with the letter F that I use.
Can't think of anything else. Yeah, I have no idea. I literally went to Taco Bell and got $5 chalupa box for tonight. Look, if you're with Taco Bell and you want to figure out a sponsorship here, hit me up and let me know, because somebody who sells tacos needs to get on this. No doubt. Here we go. Mystical's question. If you have a player that's a buy in Dynasty, does what you're willing to pay for that player or your aggressiveness to acquire him diminish if he's not at a position of need for your team? This is a good question for you right here, Tyler, because I know you have some thoughts. What do you think?
Oh, I do. I mean, I'm always aggressive, but yeah, I mean, if it's not a position of need, then I'm probably gonna be less aggressive. Usually I always want value, but I'm going to be more aggressive in positions of need. But what I'm never going to do is make a bad trade. I'm not going to make a bad trade just to fill a position of need. But yes, of course, I'm going to target the positions of need more. I mean, that makes sense, right?
I think that's true. Now, I will say you are not usually a proponent of making trades that aren't of value regardless of need. And even right now, especially when we don't have to set a lineup for quite a few months, you're not going out and if you find value, you're not necessarily thinking about it in terms of here's what I have on my roster now, are you?
No, probably not. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Very good. So let's see. How about Stefan, maybe Peterson? What's the best fantasy football team name you have seen or used? If in a productive struggle, do you trade JK
Dobbins?
Dobbins. For who or what and why? All right.
Well, let's see. The best fantasy football team name I've seen, I don't know if I have a good one off the top of my head. Most of the good ones we can't say on this show. So we'll leave it at that. And then if you're in a productive struggle, do you trade J.K. Dobbins? I mean, yes. I would like to trade J.K. Dobbins anyway, no matter what I'm in. But, yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to add another running back in Baltimore. And I would definitely trade J.K. Dobbins away. I don't really believe in him anymore.
I'm hanging on. I have him almost everywhere because I was pretty aggressive at going to get him, and I'm not trading him away. So, I'm not trading him away for less than like really good value. And to me, he's a special enough running back that in that Baltimore offense, even if he doesn't have the full workload, we didn't think he was going to have the full workload anyway, right?
Well, the problem isn't the workload. We know he's not going to have a full workload. The problem is that it doesn't seem like he's going to be ready. So, I say this every week, but it seems like it's going to be a long time. And I don't want that. Why is it going to take too long? Why is he not going to be ready on time? He's not ready on time. So once we already have one problem, we have a strike. We have a strike of failure. So we can't start. We're starting with strikes. So if we accumulate more strikes, then we're going to strike out. So we don't want that. So once we start on the path of failure, we want to get off that path immediately. So now that I see that he's not going to be ready, I just want to stop the downward spiral there and not deal with that anymore. Before they sign Melvin Gordon, before they draft a running back in the third round, don't wait. Once they do those things, you'll never be able to sell him. So now while it's still up in the air, you have your chance. So I would take advantage of that opportunity.
Now that you've seen what we're doing here and you are watching the channel, if you are for the very first time, make sure that you're subscribed. Look down there, take a look. If the button's red, that means you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you need to correct that. Also, make sure you like the video. It's the very least you can do right here, guys. Come on, we'll settle for that. And Addison gets happy every time you do it. Addison's working hard, producing a lot of great content. I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of Addison's videos here. He is really killing it on the prospect profiles and everything that he's doing. Really, really good stuff. I probably spent about 3 hours watching Addison videos the other night, and it's really good.
The viewers demand more Addison.
No doubt. So make sure that you are doing that. Eric says, tip number 2 for your first shot, Cal. First was the email address. I'll just say really quick, my best advice right here for this is don't spend too much time getting the room ready. I almost killed myself trying to make sure everything was perfect. And then my first son, I don't think he spent a night in his room for like 6 months. So don't spend too much time worrying about that. John, good morning, gentlemen. Happy Waffle Wednesday. What's up, John? Appreciate you tuning in from Australia. FF Lefty, let's fun and go. What's up, fellas? That's a good entry into our what's the F stand for?
Honestly, like I'll if we get me mad enough, I'll say it. How about that? We'll make a deal with the audience.
Say Willis goes top 10. Brees goes early second round. Who's the 101 in 12-team Superflex League? Does your answer change for 10-team Superflex Leagues? Tyler, what do you think?
I mean, in this case, I think it would probably be Willis in 12-team Superflex Leagues. If it's going to be 10-team Superflex Leagues, then it'll be Hall pretty much no matter what.
What could happen, I guess, in this situation that is there a scenario where Hall falls further? Addison's talked a little bit about that, about him going potentially to Tampa Bay. What happens in that case?
I was asked by the patrons if Addison was being truthful or just trolling when he said that Hall would fall to the 109 in a rookie draft. I did not watch the video. I assume he was trolling. I don't think so. No, Hall is locked in as the top running back, wide receiver, tight end for no matter what. I won't budge. I won't change my mind. And it's really just a debate in Superflex between him and Willis.
It's not a bad conversation to have because I do think if I'm thinking about what the worst possible landing scenario, that's probably it, right? Tampa Bay is not where you want.
No, why is that bad?
Where else?
I don't see that as the worst. I mean, there are others that I don't know. I mean, Leonard Fournette, yeah, he signed a contract, but we know that those contracts don't last very long. And are people not wanting Javonte Williams now?
It's true.
Year one. And Brees Hall is younger coming into the NFL than Javonte Williams was coming into the NFL.
That's a good point.
So I don't really see that as a problem. I think that the worst landing spot, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say worst and worst reasonable. The worst is Baltimore because they're the ones who could do it. They're the ones who would be dumb enough to do it. Spend a second round pick on a running back. That's the worst one that I can come up with for Brees Hall, I think, is the worst that I can reasonably come up with that there's any chance of. But I still think that Brees Hall goes to Buffalo at 25. I think he goes in the first, personally.
Very interesting. Ed says, I use a team ground zero for my aggressive productive struggles, and I put up a pic of a tank with that painted in its barrel. Not bad. I like it. Andrew Carlson, 12-team PPR league, 1 QB, start 10. Would you trade the 102 and an early 2024 first for the 101?
All right, well, let's start with you don't know that's how can it be an early 2024 first? How do you know? How do you know that it's an early? How do you possibly know that? So that's too many years from now. But, let's forget the early. A 102 and a 24 first for the 101. So that's going to be essentially it's Kenneth Walker, probably, but you get your choice of everybody else and a first, 24 first for Brees Hall. It's about right to get the choice of everybody else and the 24 first for Brees Hall. If it were 23 first, I would easily do it. 24 first, probably still do it, but it's not, we're not talking a smash accept anymore. Possible I don't like this deal after the draft. If none of Walker or any of the wide receivers get a great thing that helps their value. It's possible I don't like this deal, but my guess is that the odds are that I will. That there's
What
going
about
to be
from the other side? Like, do you feel like you would trade from the 101 to the 102 for this?
I mean,
I'm not sure I would. I feel like I want in one QB. I feel like I want to stay at that 101. I would take maybe a little bit more.
I don't even consider this deal from the other side because I'm never doing this deal from the other side.
Right.
I don't do this. I don't trade 2024 firsts unless I'm getting a massive win and this isn't it. So I just don't do that. So I wasn't even considering, and that's actually the side the trade is being asked for. So I guess from Andrew's perspective, the answer is just a simple no. I think it's more interesting to look at it if you had the 101 already and were being offered this. That's more interesting.
Yeah,
I would probably take
that's
it.
what I meant.
I would lean toward taking it.
Chris Kaiser, what's up, guys? My buddy Tyler, what's up? Cal, how you been, sir? Appreciate your time. Of course, Chris, appreciate you tuning in.
Chris is very active, both on my Twitter and a lot of other places.
Love it. Andrew Carlson, that's my feeling too, but I feel like I'm going to wait or going to want him so bad if he goes to Buffalo. Yeah, if there's any smoke to that fire, if
there
Paul ends up in Buffalo, that's going to be fun.
But even if he ends up in Houston, is that really so bad? I mean, Houston's team can't be bad forever, right? Is the team going to be bad forever? And they don't have any obstacles towards playing time.
Not bad. Noah Gold. Hey, guys. Completed a Superflex rookie draft this weekend. Landed late rounders like Shakir and Alec Pierce that I'm excited about. Any projected day 2 or 3 rookies that you guys are keeping an eye on? What do you think?
Pierce is one of them. Shakir less so, but Pierce is a good one. Pierre Strong, Tyler Algier is falling, but I'm still somewhat interested in him. Jerome Ford is falling. I'm still somewhat interested in him. And Kyron Williams wasn't a terrible prospect if he's going to go in the 4th.
Who's my guy?
Master Teague.
Let's go.
Master Teague is 56th in my current rookie rankings.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like there's a bunch of we may be staring at a situation. I was talking to Addison about this today where some of the quarterbacks are falling a little bit too far. Not that they're day 2 or 3, not that they fall into this, but just changing topics a little bit. Like in a Superflex league, you may be able to end up with a couple of those guys and take a couple shots at somebody that could turn into something if they're falling too far. In other words, the negativity might be going a little bit too far for some of them.
I can see that.
So, all right. So here we go. Bills fan, Hall believer. I agree. Yeah, that'd be fun for Ed. Might have to get a live cut in of Ed celebrating and jumping through a table if that draft selection is made.
Yeah, I love it.
Ed, we'll get you on live if you will go through a table. How about that? Ed, I've got the 101 in a few leagues and the 102 in 2 others. Just can't get a decent deal done for the 101. Yeah. I feel that. Hey, dudes, all picks 206, 208, 209, 210. What the heck do I do with them? 12 teams who reflects. Keep in mind, I'll be over the roster limit post-draft. That is an interesting thing. How many of these guys are going to be worth a roster spot, dropping somebody that at the end of your roster maybe you believe in and have had there for a little while? How many of these picks are you going to want to make in a league?
Well, any second-round pick is going to make a dynasty roster, but, I don't know. You should look to crunch roster spots on the rest of your team. Try to sell people for 4ths or something. That's what I always do.
So in this case, we're looking at something like a Trey McBride, maybe falling that late. Maybe you take a shot on a Trey McBride.
I don't know. There's no point in speculating what you're going to do with these picks. Really, they could be anything at this point.
I'm just thinking in terms of here's the John Minchie. These are the kind of guys that you're Wan'Dale Robinson in terms of the ADP. I'm just thinking there may be a case for trying to punt these to next year or maybe flip them for a veteran that's lost some value.
I'm fine with that.
Shane, try to package them to move up. Yeah, that's another option right there too. Sweeteners for bigger trades. Good idea, Eric. Yep, kind of a lot of what we're saying there.
Yeah, I know.
Giddy up. How much higher does Tyreek finish compared to Pittman next year? Michael Pittman, 10 spots? Question mark. A 23 first. Is that worth the difference? So Tyreek Hill for Michael Pittman in a first. What do you think?
Okay, so I'll take the Pittman side with the first. As for how far ahead Tyreek finishes compared to Pittman, I have not done redraft ranks. I have promised them by June 1st to my patrons, so they will exist by June 1st. As for when they show up, like on Twitter, that will be much later. But either way, rough guess, I would probably have Tyreek Hill at around 10 or 11, wide receiver 10 or 11. And Pittman, it depends on a little bit of what they do in the NFL draft, but somewhere between 20 and 25. So there you go. So that's
in
a
a
rough
vacuum, I want Tyreek.
Right, but with a first, I'll just take Pittman because I don't believe in Tua. I don't believe in Tua to, I just said if I have those rankings as is, then you want the Pittman side with the years in the first. If that's where you rank them, then you want the Pittman side. So it's hard. You can't argue with that. The only thing you can argue with is that you expect Tyreek to finish higher, you expect Pittman to finish lower. But if you rank them where I just said, then you have to take the Pittman side with the first based on the redraft ranking and the age.
From I'm a bad person. Hey, the first step is being able to admit it. Like, we keep working on yourself there.
Recently today, the thing that drives me the craziest about, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The thing that drives me the craziest about the fantasy football industry are those people that pretend that they're angels. They're angels, that they're perfect. I'm far from it. I can often be, I can be difficult to work with. I can even be a jerk. I try to be supportive, but I'm not perfect. But there are some people who just, they think that they're the nicest people ever. And that just drives me nuts. But at least I can own it, that I have a little bit of an edge to me. And I, don't always say the nicest things, but I want to be authentic. I want to be me. And, being the nicest person ever is not the reality. So I don't pretend like I am. But
from I'm a bad person, 104 or Godwin, 1 QB.
I'll take Godwin.
Yeah, me too.
Cal and Addison are actually both like the nicest people ever. Trust me. They make me look like a meanie.
Sometimes. Not you. I'm saying like sometimes not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tanner Carr, if you were offering a single 2023 first, what running backs would be a reach and which would be an overpay for both of you? So let me pull up ADP here and just let me find where your line is.
I don't need it.
Well, so random 2023 first, or let me see, Saquon Barkley.
So 1 QB, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Saquon Barkley. I don't know. 1 QB. I'll still take Saquon Barkley. Not as interested in the
Joe
first.
Mixon?
Mixon. You're going the wrong direction. Mixon, I have 9 spots higher than Barkley. So
Derrick Henry.
If I'm selling Henry, I want more. That's the thing. I want more than that. He's worth more.
How about Antonio Gibson?
It's still worth more. He's worth more. It's 1 QB. In Superflex, a lot of these would be different answers. But in 1 QB, he's worth more.
Alvin Kamara.
I'll still take Kamara. The thing is that in a 1 QB, you're not making the same risk when you give up these picks that you are in a Superflex.
All right, let me see if I can find your line here. How about AJ Dillon?
I'll take the first over Dillon.
James Conner.
The first.
David Montgomery.
That's about right.
Right. So that's like RB22.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
No. Aaron Jones is a big sell.
I can't believe he's going ahead of Elijah Mitchell. That's in Dynasty. I don't know about that. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Here we go. Tony plus 209 or Michael Carter, 12 team, 1 QB, PPR.
Tony in the pick.
Let's see. I think it might be on your end there.
1 QB. That won't happen. That won't happen at 1 QB. You'll need to pay way more.
Okay, hang on. Real quick. I think that is. I'm not sure that's on my end, Tyler. I'm gonna try and fix. Okay. Blake, what's up, Blake? Our Waffle Wednesday originator here. 1 QB, PPR, 14 team, have 114, 201, 202. Worried about draft depth. What are your thoughts for Blake?
You can hear my exasperated sigh. I don't mean to be mean to you, Blake, but this question. I get this question all the time, like 10 times a day. It is what it is. At this point, there's nothing you can do about it, right? What can you do about it now? Do you think you're going to benefit from selling the draft picks now, or do you think you're going to be better off waiting to sell them until after the draft? So you can't do anything about it now. So just wait and see where the teardrop is, and then wherever it is, you make deals. That's all you can do, right? I mean, I get it. Look, I get it. This is Dynasty. This is an active. You're here. You're watching the show. You want to be an active Dynasty manager. I get it. But sometimes there's nothing you can do. You can't fix it. You can't fix that this draft sucks. You can't fix that, nobody's excited about it. What can you do? So you just have to wait.
I think Eric's thing here, try to package them for a player. I mean, that is like in general what I would think too right now is like try to be aggressive.
The worst time.
Yeah, don't just put them on the block and expect a trade to come in, right? We talk about that a bunch. Like, make sure that you are identifying what you want and go get it, as opposed to waiting for that to come in. 14-team league, those could be depth pieces, though. I mean, like, I don't think you're in a situation where there's, nobody that could fall to those spots that you couldn't use. So don't just trade him for anybody, but
never know. Also, you don't know how your league is going to draft. You think that there wouldn't be a player you want there, and then you get there, and a player you wouldn't have expected fell 5 spots farther than you would have thought.
Right.
So just like relax.
Yeah, Eric talking about Godwin being in a weird situation. I kind of think he is too, to some degree, but at the same time, like I almost don't want to overthink who's going to be his quarterback in 2 years. You know what I mean? I almost want to think like, okay, let's just let him do his thing. Tom Brady could play till he's 50.
Yeah, he says he doesn't have much left, though. That's what he said.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I buy it.
He also said he retired. So
that's true.
Buy Apple Pie said 14-team Superflex, Mahomes and 101, or Lamar, DJ Moore, and Chris Godwin, or Mahomes and 101 for Watson, DK, and Waddle. Or should just hold on to Mahomes and Breeze? What do you think?
Wow. It's tough. So in a 14-team Superflex, the 101 will be Malik Willis. And I would rather have Malik Willis over DJ Moore. But with Godwin, it's a lot to pay. What about the other deal? I guess the other deal, you get Watson, DK, and Waddle. That's better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, DK is a little bit better than Moore, and Waddle's a lot better than Godwin. But Watson is not as good as Lamar. So I don't know, though. Do I really want to give up the chance to draft Willis in a 14-team Superflex for these wide receivers either way? Maybe not. So
in a 14-team league, though, I almost feel like trading Mahomes in the 101, and I agree with you. The Watson, DK, and Waddle side would be the better of those two. I almost feel like getting those 3 pieces. Getting those 3 pieces to me might be better.
Yeah, I might go with the Watson package actually, because that way at least you get Waddle.
Yeah,
instead of Godwin. That seems like a huge difference to me.
From our recovering Ridley Truther, yo guys, how come everyone talks about teams wanting speed, but Tyquan Thornton, or however you spell it, isn't getting any love? Didn't he break the 40-yard dash? Tape looked okay. Guessing he stinks? Question mark.
He stinks.
He reminds me of like Anthony Schwartz last year, and like he was super fast.
I was in on Anthony Schwartz, so that was not a hit for me.
Yeah, he got more targets than week 1 or something than I think everybody expected, and it was like, whoa.
I did my week 1 victory lap, but unfortunately, that was the only thing all year. Oops.
Yeah, Ed's talking about Godwin hitting his prime. Man, that ACL tear messes it up a little bit, but hopefully it comes back strong. Yeah, Lamar and Watson. What's Eli Mitchell's value in terms of draft picks? What would you sell him for? I guess, like, if you got him on your team, what kind of draft pick package would you take?
I'm not going to get what I want for Eli Mitchell, so he's going to be a hold, especially now with Debo being traded away. He's going to get even more rushing work. So, yeah, I'm not selling Eli Mitchell, but his value, I mean, it feels insane, but in a 1 QB, I have him between the 103 and 104, and in a super flex, I have him between 106 and 107. I know that seems crazy.
Crazy high or low?
Crazy high.
We've got a running back that I feel like are we thinking he's not the starting running back for in a college Shanahan system or what?
No, I love him. I have him almost 2 rounds higher than ADP. It doesn't seem like people agree with me. And I don't know. I mean, I saw someone who's going to be a star. So, but I could be wrong.
I don't really, I feel like he doesn't, maybe it's just not trust. Maybe it's just, people are afraid of Shanahan.
Afraid, yeah.
I think he's valuable. I think he's, especially in terms of ADP, somebody that you can target pretty well. Elijah Mitchell. I looked up in the trade finder. Elijah Mitchell or Jerry Jeudy.
Mitchell.
All right. Elijah Mitchell or Paris Campbell and Gabriel Davis.
Mitchell.
Not close, right? Like I just feel like some of these are like, Elijah Mitchell in a 2023 second or. Okay.
Someone tried to tell me that Paris Campbell had not accumulated 3 strikes of failure on Twitter. And I told them that I got up to about 15 strikes. So I don't know. I don't know about that. But he was trying to tell me that Paris Campbell still had value. I thought otherwise. I'm done. I just don't like Paris Campbell. You're muted.
Elijah Mitchell and the 104 for Debo and the 108.
It's closer now. I'll take Debo still, though. All right.
Buying, I'd say late first. Talking about Elijah Mitchell. Shane, what should I do with players like Amari Rodgers and Diami Brown? I think their value takes a hit after the NFL draft, but they do have pretty good draft capital. I mean, you're not loving these players anyway, right?
No, I'd get them off your team. They both suck.
Yeah. I agree.
Yep. No, they're failure, right? And we don't want to start with failure. Once you fail, I mean, you can really, I think it was DF Bean Counter posted this today, can really simplify this, right? I mean, players who are bad as rookies tend to stay bad. They tend to stay bad. They don't become good. So they were bad. Diami Brown, actually, we even know it's even worse. He got a lot of playing time and did nothing with it. That's even worse. That's even worse. So we don't like that. And Amari Rodgers couldn't get on the field at all, which is also bad. So bad and bad. So get rid of him.
FF Lefty says the mood lighting looks fine. I think a little dim, but not dungeon-esque. So
I don't know what's up with the lighting. Honestly, it looked good on my show yesterday. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Chris with the opposite take. I don't think it's that, Chris. Elijah Mitchell is a middle of the first for me in Superflex. Yeah, kind of what you were thinking. Addison mentioned he would love counter proposals for accepted trades. How would that work? That's not one I know.
I don't know what that is. I just turned off the extra light. Does that look better? Is that better? Or was it better before?
Yeah, no, that's a little bit better, I think.
Oh, the extra light that I purchased actually makes it worse. Got it. It actually doesn't improve anything. Well, that was a waste of money. I'll write that off in my taxes next year.
Do we think Walker Buehler is going 6 innings tonight or what? I say no. Under 6 innings. Under 6 innings.
I don't know who that is.
He's a pitcher. Ryan, what's up, guys? Curious for your takes on the Kyler situation at the moment. Are you guys buying, selling, or holding? What do you think?
I'm buying. The talent's still there. His contract's going to get worked out. What is he going to do? Sit out and turn down $40 million or something? He's not going to take $40 million. I think he's going to take it. So I'm not concerned.
Let's see. The light situation went from dim to dimmer. I don't know. I think it's fine. Don't overthink it. Look. If you can't get past lighting for like fire dynasty takes, they're gonna make your team better. Like, come on, get
My
over it.
light look like yours. Why can't I get it to look like that?
I don't know. I don't know. New York, man. It's something with New York.
It's too much light pollution here. That must be what it is.
There's more light down here in the south. That's what I'll go with.
Maybe.
Should Conley trade Marlon Mack now for what draft capital I can, or hope I get better return midseason? They're almost certainly drafting somebody, it feels like. So I don't know.
What better return are you gonna get? Yeah, trade him now.
Yep. Agreed. Chris says, if you have picks 102, 104, and you walk away with the draft with Willis and Walker on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your excitement level?
10.
It's pretty good.
Actually.
Elijah Mitchell and Mike Evans for Josh Jacobs and Jerry Jeudy.
I'll take I don't want old players. I'll take Jacobs and Jeudy.
Let's see. Oh my God, Marlon Mack. Any fourth? I'm not sure a fourth. I think can you get a third? Is that the best you can do right now?
Good luck. You try.
Hang on. This is a job for the trade finder. Marlon Mack. Here we go. He was traded yesterday in combination with Zay Jones for Jonathan Williams. Wow, that's not great.
Next.
Remember Jonathan Williams?
No.
Yeah. There's no good Marlon Mack trade.
I just don't like him because I started him and he didn't score enough points for me, and I was very upset with him. So he's on my naughty list.
Shane wants to know if you like Austin Hooper with the Titans. I feel like he could be the best tight end for them since Delaney Walker Baker seemed to hurt Hooper a lot. Was great on the Falcons.
I think not. Not a fan. He's a Jag.
I think if you look at Austin Hooper's career, you can tell which one's the outlier season.
No, he was fine, but he got a lot of volume, but really didn't do anything extra with it.
It was, yeah. He's not good.
He's not bad, but he's not good.
Add
anything to the scheme of the offense. He just does what he's told.
Bye-week fill-in, at best.
Yeah.
Let's see. Addison and Ryan are both undervalued. Appreciate them.
Yeah, Ryan is much more undervalued than Addison. Addison is, everyone loves Addison, but not many people know about Ryan. He doesn't get enough attention because he refuses to promote his own work as much as I do. So that's one thing. If you're watching this and you're a fantasy football content creator, it's dirty. So some people don't like it, but if you don't self-promote, you won't make it. You won't make it. I don't have the show if I don't self-promote. I'm not at DLF if I don't self-promote. I don't have 23,000 something followers if I don't self-promote. So it's necessary part of the game. You either do it or you get left behind. Those are your only options.
Second time this type of question came up today. So let's dive in a little bit more on this. 2022, 109, 110. I think a lot of people are looking at those late round picks that they have and they're saying like, man, what am I going to do with these picks? I feel like there's going to be a tier fall off and I'm going to wind up taking players that aren't going to help me. Is there anything right now that you can do with these picks? I know earlier you were like, what are you going to get for them right now?
But do you think I changed my mind in the last 10 minutes?
But my thing is like, do you take into consideration at all that like landing spot may not help all the enough people to make it to where this is going to be more attractive in the draft? Like it could actually hurt where these are less valuable.
But what do you want me to do? Like,
I'm saying, what do you think they should do?
Nobody wants to make the trade now. So if you force it, you're going to make a bad deal. That's what happens when you force a trade. Then you end up taking bad value. So we're not going to do that.
Is no one? So then, if nobody's trading for those picks, is the move to try and get those picks?
As someone who would know, I would know this. Nobody's trading for these picks. Nobody.
So then, should you try and trade for these picks? Like, are they that undervalued now? Then
maybe you should try to trade for them, but nobody wants them. Trading for them might be more interesting. That might be a good idea, but trading them away, no.
Yeah, maybe if everybody's trying to get rid of them, maybe that's the move. So,
I would be trading for them.
Dustin, I love it. If Tyler gets mad enough, he'll say it. Okay, challenge accepted. My 3 best sleeper picks this year are Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Eno Benjamin. Let's go.
Well, I think that they all have minimal upside. I actually don't think so because Kansas City is definitely going to draft another running back. They have failure. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a lot of failure. So he's actually been very bad. And then Ronald Jones, completely incompetent and, has mysterious fits of not being able to play football. It seems like once every 3 weeks, all of a sudden he doesn't know how to play in the NFL. So they can't have that. So they're going to draft another running back. And then the same team, wide receiver, they thought that Juju was so great that they paid Marquez Valdes-Scantling 5 times as much money. 5 times. But everyone tells me, oh, Juju's so much better. Really? Who produced more last year? Yeah. So, and why should we just assume that, Juju from 2018 is coming back? Why? Why should he come back? He hasn't been like that in years. And if you look at his route chart, it's red everywhere. Red, never open. Never open. You want to pass to someone who's never open? How is Patrick Mahomes going to react to that? He had Tyreek Hill before. Always open. Always open. Juju Smith-Schuster, never open. So which one do you think is going to be better? So I don't think so. I would not be surprised if Marquez Valdes-Scantling outscores Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think that's that unlikely. The ADP on Juju Smith-Schuster is ridiculous. 60th overall, lighting a pick on fire at that ADP. That's stupid. It's one of the worst picks in April's DLF ADP. And, there was somebody who came into my last article and challenged it. Not the article, but challenged the idea of ADP, saying that it's kind of silly that it's not expert drafts. And I was like, well, I mean, it's supposed to be the market. The market does dumb things. It's supposed to be a representation of the market. Yeah, that ADP is dumb. Juju Smith-Schuster at 60th overall, that's terrible. But that's what the market has. So do you want the representation of the market or rankings? We have rankings that may or may not have the same mistake. But if you want a representation of the market, that's what ADP is. So I just push back on that. And then Eno Benjamin sucks. He doesn't deserve a diatribe.
Sean says, I'm being offered Jamar Chase and for my Joe Burrow. I already have Herbert and Murray, 12-team Superflex. Are you trading away Joe Burrow to get Jamar Chase?
No.
All right, good projection, Ryan. Let's see. Starting 12-team Superflex tonight. Wish me luck. Good luck, Trogdor.
Good luck.
I know somebody that can help you if you need it.
I will be helping him.
That says good luck. Sean, I take Chase. Seeing you 2 ultimate stud QBs already. No? Darren says, happy Taco Tuesday night from... Where are you from, Darren? Come on. Leave us hanging.
Tell us that.
Jaden says, just traded Michael Carter for a 2024 first. What do you think?
First? I think Carter's going to get supplanted in like a week. I like Kenneth Walker running the Jets a lot at 35 or 38.
Agreed. 45 minutes into the show here. We're halfway. We're answering so many questions. Tyler is giving us a lot of insight. We appreciate that. Make sure you support by just hitting the like button right there, subscribing. Make sure that you are, help get the show out there. Share it. That would be amazing. Jerry says, in a 12-team, 1 QB league, I traded away the 109 and 110 for 2023, maybe mid-first, and 2023, maybe mid-second. Was this a good move?
Not really, but it's fine. I mean, the mid-first will be better than those picks, but you had to give up 2 firsts to do it. So it's fine. It's fine. It's meh.
Yeah. It's okay value, but I don't think I'm playing this way. I don't think I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Where do you have Brandon Ayuk in your rankings?
Where do I have him? I have him at wide receiver 20.
Wide receiver 20. He is according to ADP, he is right now going right around that range, isn't he? A little bit after.
Oh, way after.
Brandon Ayuk is going. Oh, Man,
It's another whopper in the ADP. At
I
ADP,
keep looking up thinking I'm missing it. He's going wide receiver 35. What?
Yeah, not good.
Okay, here we go.
Good.
Brendan Ayuk or Cortland Sutton?
It's not Cortland Sutton.
Brendan
Yeah.
Ayuk or DeAndre Hopkins?
Ayuk.
Ayuk or Juju Smith-Schuster?
I have Juju Smith-Schuster currently 4 rounds below Brandon Ayuk.
Tell me where it gets close. Ayuk or Judy?
They're right next to each other. I have Ayuk just ahead now that Debo's going away.
Ayuk or Amon-Ra?
I have Amon-Ra right after Judy. So Ayuk.
Okay, so right there. That's about the right spot. John says, what are your thoughts on Kyler, Devonta Smith, 212, and a 2023 second for Carson Wentz, 104, 112, 2 2023 first, and a 24 second?
Oh, so much.
Interesting.
Okay, so Kyler's about equal to the 104 23 first and the 223 firsts. He's about equal to all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So then that kind of leaves Wentz and the 112 and 24 second for Devonta Smith, 212 and 23 second. And I would rather have the Devonta Smith side. So I'll take the Kyler side, barely.
Yeah, let's see. Ayuk low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3.
I think Ayuk is incredibly undervalued. Ayuk was great as a rookie. And then actually down the stretch last year, he had that part of the season at the beginning where he was injured. He was in the doghouse. But then I believe he had a stretch where he was a wide receiver 1, wasn't he? When Debo moved to not being a receiver and Debo became a running back.
Mm-hmm. Is this one of those where we're going to look back and say, like, man, for everybody who overdrafted Ayuk last year, this was the perfect buy window? I mean, sell window?
So essentially, in the first 6 weeks, he was 71% or lower snap share in 5 of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't very good. In the last 6 weeks, he played, 90s snap share almost every week, and essentially every week. And he averaged 66 yards a game, 4.3 receptions a game. So over a 17-game season, that would be 73 for 11, 28, and 6. So not awful. I mean, that's like that would be a mid to low end too.
He was traded yesterday, combined with the 107 for Travis Etienne.
Way too much.
Way too much.
Yeah, Ayuk in the 107 there easily.
But see, then he's like Ayuk for 2023 second and in 312 yesterday.
I'd take Ayuk there.
Yeah, me too. Bearded Native, when is the best time to sell my 2022 picks, and would you move them for more established players? This one has a pretty stand pat answer. What do you think?
Yeah, it's after the draft, and in general, yes.
Eric says if Devo's gone, there's your Ayuk sell high window. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying right there. I think this is one of those where you're going to look back and be like, oh, that was the moment. I should have done it.
I still think that I'm going to have him valued higher than. He's not going to be a sell high for me because I have him valued so high that he's not a sell high.
Darren Johnson, happy Taco Tuesday from snowy Saskatchewan. What's up, Darren? I think was he the one snowed in last week?
Wild deviations from ADP than I usually do. Usually I'm pretty in line with ADP, but like I have Elijah Mitchell like 2 rounds higher. I have Brandon Ayuk 19 spots higher. Chase Claypool, you'll never believe this. Chase Claypool 24 spots higher. And then I have some
higher.
People became more out than me. I never moved him. He's in the same rank he was before. It's just that ADP moved about 40 spots.
Wide receiver 40. Yeah, that's low.
I have Keenan Allen 29 spots lower. Like a lot of deviation. But luckily, I have Michael Thomas right on the money. Of all players, you would think that's the one I have exactly with ADP is Michael Thomas.
C-Man Roll says, hey, boys, where does Marquise Brown finish? Probably with Baltimore.
That's
my guess.
Yeah, let's come up with some better material. But I don't know. I'm not going to rank him as a wide receiver too. So he's going to be in wide receiver range.
So I know I'm way higher on, and our buddy Yakish, better. He's higher on him than us.
Yeah, I have Marquise Brown in Dynasty at wide receiver 27. He is first round draft capital and he's still pretty young. So if I rank him, I'm going to rank him around wide receiver 27, 28 in redraft. So yeah, 27 is good.
What's price check on Mike Williams? Find him tough to value.
He's a sell for me. I have Williams down at 34, wide receiver 34.
Darren, to get Tyler angry to say some words. What are your thoughts on Eno Benjamin? Yeah, it seems like everybody's going to Eno, and not enough talks about Saquon.
Saquon earlier, but or Evan Ingram. No one remembers that I don't like Evan Ingram now that he's not on the Giants anymore. But Eno Benjamin sucks.
What's up, Adam? Always good to see you hanging out around here. Always good to do those comments. Mark says 12 teams. Superflex, tight end premium, Hurts or Mac Jones. Who to keep? Who to trade?
I'll take Hurts. But, I don't know. Mac Jones is undervalued, by the way. If I told you now that you could have Derek Carr's career up until this point, how much would that be worth? If after 2014, that was his rookie year, right? 2014, I think, 2013, whatever. You had 7 years of Derek Carr's career up until this point. And I told you that's what you had. That's worth what? More than the 101 in Superflex? Probably. You know you have it.
Right.
I'm not saying to pay that for Mac Jones. You can pay way less, but he's undervalued in Superflex.
Here we go. Eric's here for the receipts when Tua makes his 3-year leap with a supporting cast.
Good luck with that. They obviously don't want him. I mean, we know that Brady was at the marina. He was at the marina conveniently when Stephen Ross just happened to be arriving at the same marina. What a coincidence. How convenient that the timing of those events just happened to line up. So, no, they don't want Tua. They never wanted Tua.
Love it. Chat room is on fire. A lot of things in here. We're going to try and get through as many of these as we possibly can. Recovering Ridley Truther. I think I mentioned this.
One other thing about the Dolphins. Just one. Let's all imagine a world in which Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki didn't have Tua as their quarterback, but instead Justin Herbert was the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. What about that world? Now, what would that look like? You think I'd still be worried if Tyreek Hill could be a wide receiver 1 then? Think I'd be worried? No. I would rank them both probably. I'd rank Tyreek Hill at 4 and Jalen Waddle at 8. Seriously. That's how good Justin Herbert is. He never had a weapon like that. Either one of them. Never had anything like that. Keenan Allen's great, but he's not those guys. He doesn't have the explosion of those guys. So they're kicking themselves that they're stuck with Tua. I don't have Herbert.
I think I mentioned this. Says recovering Ridley Truther, but was able to move J.K. Dobbins and Brevin Jordan for A.J. Dillon and the 105 in a 12-team Superflex PPR.
That works for me. Yeah. 105 and Dobbins are close to equal, so Dillon is a big bonus. I'll take the Dillon side.
Benny says, what would you do with the 110 and 203 in a 12-team Superflex PPR? 1.5 tight end, 6 points per TD. Trade down if possible, or take who?
Well, I mean, if this draft is after the NFL draft, you don't have to worry about who to take. Luckily, you're going to know. I'm going to be live during the entire draft. Addison's going to be on my show, by the way. I don't know if you know about that. Addison will be appearing on the Tyler YouTube channel. I don't know if anyone knows about that other than Addison, other than me. But there you go. There will be lots of guests. But anyway, the point of this story is that I don't know. Just hold on to the picks for now and make your moves after the draft.
Like Eric says here, yeah, probably just wait till draft time. That's the right thing. Let's see. He also said he retired. Yeah, exactly, Adam. Me and Adam was on the same page.
One day I'll retire. One day I'll retire live on the show. I'll do it at the end of the show. I'll be like, this is my last show. No one will know about it. And I'll just drop the mic.
I'm a bad person. Says, I despise the 104 in this class. What players would you trade straight up for that as a contender? Godwin, Terry, Chubb, etc.
Okay, so let's say you're at the 104 and what? A 1 QB, I guess? because we're not asking about quarterback. So if I wanted to trade the 104 for a player, yeah, Godwin would probably be my first target.
I like it. Jacob Johnson, value of Hollywood Brown. We talked a little bit about him getting offered 2 seconds to trade away Hollywood for 2 seconds in a 10-team league.
Yeah, not in a non-super flex. So no, I'll just hold on to Hollywood at this point.
Yeah, I like Eric in mid-first. If I'm still in Hollywood, I agree. That's what I would want.
Well, that's not going to happen.
You're not going to get it, but that's what I want.
So you're going to hold on to Hollywood then. You're going to hold on to him instead of selling him.
Is there not a world where Hollywood Brown repeats his target share? Like, is it like his share? I'm not. So maybe not the volume because Lamar comes down on his passing attempts.
From when Rashad Bateman returned, could you do A or B? Could you A, play Hollywood Brown reliably as a fantasy asset after Rashad Bateman returned, or B, not play Hollywood Brown reliably as a fantasy asset? Which one was it?
We looked at this before, and I don't think it was as clear cut.
No, it was. It was very clear cut. I mean, we can go do it again, but it was very bad. I mean, Hollywood Brown's all the good games were in the beginning of the year. They were all in the beginning of the year.
But there was also a Lamar factor in there.
Well, what was the other factor? I don't see
Lamar. Lamar was the other factor there. He was not the quarterback for all those games.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, we don't want to hear about it, but who do you think had a higher completion percentage between Lamar and Tyler Huntley? People don't want to hear that, but no, I mean, Lamar was better. But no, it is bad. I mean, Rashad Bateman missed the first 5 games. In those 5 games, Hollywood Brown had 90 yards a game and 5 touchdowns. He had 1 touchdown the rest of the year. You want to blame it all on Lamar? Fine. Lamar played in 12 games. What about the other 7? What about those 7? Did he do well in those 7?
All right, hang on. Because while we're on this, okay, his first, second, third, and fourth highest target volume came after week 5. His first, second, and third worst target volume came in the first 5 weeks.
But he scored all the touchdowns in those weeks.
Right. So, that's not predictive.
Isn't it, though?
No.
A bigger target comes in and all of a sudden the red zone looks go away. I mean, that sounds possible. All of a sudden they're not looking at him for touchdowns anymore. They try to do something different. Possible, right?
Were those red zone targets or were the
No, what I mean by that is they go, they were scoring touchdowns other ways.
Sure. But I mean, I'm going to bet on that target volume, which was significantly better than Bateman's from week 6 when he showed up on.
I mean, he didn't produce though. He didn't catch the ball. So why didn't he catch the ball? The offense was just inefficient.
2 of those weeks, Rashad Bateman had more targets, and it was by 1 and by 2. The rest of it, it wasn't close.
Rashad Bateman is going to take a step forward this year. You think that he's not going to take a step forward? I think he's going to take a step forward.
He's going to take and Hollywood's going to take a step back. I mean, why can't they build? They're both young.
I mean, that's also assuming that they come up with nobody else to do anything. Because last year, no one else had more than 50 targets at all. So they're not going to come up with anybody? I mean, maybe they don't. But what if they draft someone else? And they will, because they don't have anybody. They didn't re-sign.
A lot of what if where last year they drafted a first rounder and Marquise Brown had his best season. So
but he
why are we coming up with scenarios that Marquise Brown loses value instead of hey, this guy earned a bunch of targets, did really well with them, produced.
Because there's the other explanation. He scored all the fantasy points in 5 weeks and then he wasn't good anymore. Maybe the 5 weeks were a mirage. There's the other explanation of maybe it just wasn't there. Maybe that was the myth and everything else was the reality. Because it was weird. He couldn't get his act together with Lamar even. I remember talking about this, that him and Lamar all of a sudden were not on the same page. But I don't know why. It was weird.
But okay, 20.7 fantasy points per game as a wide receiver was never going to be sustainable anyway.
No, but who do you think is a better player, Hollywood Brown or Rashad Bateman?
Well, when they were on the field last year together, I know which one was earning more targets.
Sure. I mean, you're talking about a rookie who missed the first 6 weeks. I'm not surprised that he didn't do his. He actually did, all things considered, for a rookie who came in the middle of the season. I'm actually pretty happy with Rashad Bateman's rookie year. The thing I don't like about Rashad Bateman is that there's no ceiling. It's the same thing I don't really like about Hollywood Brown, is that the ceiling requires everyone else to be unavailable or suck. If anyone else is able to do anything, then the ceiling goes away. And I think that will finally happen this year. I don't think it's going to be all Brown and Andrews like it was last year.
He's going behind Cortland Sutton and Juju and Judy and.
I agree with Judy, but not the other two.
He's done significantly more than any of those players have done.
Well, I have Hollywood Brown ahead of his ADP, so I'm probably not the one that I'm probably not the one that you need to, convince.
Yeah, I don't get it. He's one of the ones that his value, like, I just don't understand why we're creating scenarios where he's going to all of a sudden be a worse player.
I don't know. I mean,
we talked a little bit about it.
I projecting Bateman to take a step forward, which he should, and that the passing pie is small, and also that they're going to run more with Dobbins and Edwards back.
Good, no doubt.
What about reasons? That's what people are thinking when they're doing it.
David asking it with Debo leaving about value in Ayuk. We talked a little bit about this already. Eric talked about selling Ayuk if Debo leaves. I mentioned that as well. You were more thinking, hey, he might be a buy. Like, go get him.
I think he's a buy now. I think he's been a buy the whole time, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very in on Ayuk. I believe in talent.
Thoughts on Cam Akers?
No, I love Cam Akers, but we know that.
Yeah. No, me too. I think he's another one that, like, we saw him in the playoffs, and therefore, like, if we hadn't seen him at all, I almost feel like everybody, like, he'd be like, his
value would definitely be higher.
Yeah.
His value would be definitely higher if we hadn't seen him at all.
Let's see. Oh, Ridley's got a buddy flipping out saying that Debo's going to get paid by San Fran.
I don't know. I mean, it's on Twitter everywhere. It was a sleeper, though.
Benny says, what would you do with the ones? We talked a little bit about this. Alejandro in a 16-team Superflex tight end premium. We only start 9. Would you still prioritize depth over elite players in that kind of league?
Yes, because the 9 that you start are not going to be that good in a 16-team league. So
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Shane says, I sold Debo for Devonta Smith 206 in 2023 second before the news. How to do? I think he has a shelf life of a running back and already has a scary injury history. Interesting take. What do you think about that?
It's a bad trade. I'll take Debo.
Yeah, 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that was in reference to, but
I say it a lot.
Mark says, I think Mitchell has had more 100-yard games as a rookie than anyone else save one other in the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, I like him.
A lot of unnecessary hate on him.
There's so much hate on him.
Adam, for a second, thought you were being held hostage with the situation with your lighting.
Yeah, well, that's...
Hector, trade deadline before playoffs or no trade deadline? What do you think?
Okay, I used to say trade deadline before playoffs because I was like, trade up until the playoffs and then you go into the playoffs. Nowadays, I actually prefer no trade deadline. Dynasty Outhouse convinced me.
Let's see. Peace out, Chris. Appreciate you tuning in. David says I tweeted Tyler and Albert O question. I did, and you retweeted it. My league mate, who I made the trade with, sent me a screenshot. He also follows you and recognized it. You picked my side then. So,
well, everyone should follow me. I mean, that if you're watching the show and not following me, you're only seeing about 1% of the questions I answered during a week. That's honestly probably true.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to share info with your league mates, but in this case, David was like, "Hey, shout out James! I just beat you in this trade. Check it out." So
yeah, 99% of my answers are still on Twitter, not on this show.
David, 100% sneak a lot of trade talks in the DMs because my league mates all follow me. Yeah.
Sign up for the Patreon. The Patreon is worth it. You get to strategize with me secretly without having to worry about your league mates.
Adam says, shout out Ryan. He's low-key goated.
Yeah, I always have to promote. I always feel like I have to promote Ryan because he doesn't promote himself a lot. But Ryan's great. He's always been there for me.
Rank these three from Gavin: Kadarius Toney, Michael Carter, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Carter's the most upside, but he's so risky right now. I'll take Toney first.
Yeah,
that's pretty risky.
I love Toney.
I don't know.
I just want to stay healthy. That's my biggest thing.
I'm honestly not sure what's more likely. I mean, if Kansas City takes another running back, then that's like the end of Clyde. Whereas Carter would still have some work. I think I'll go Toney, Carter, Clyde.
Antonio Gibson in the 301 or JK in a 2024 first.
Oh, JK and Gibson are almost equal. So JK side, Dobbins side.
Yeah. No doubt. Okay, here we go. Trading away Stephon Diggs and Juju Smith-Schuster for the 101 in a 10-team league. Smash, except would you hurt yourself smashing except on this?
No, because I really like Stephon Diggs. This is not a smash except. If I had anything close to the value of Juju that most people do, this would be pretty fair. But since I don't, I'll take the 101.
Yeah.
One QB, not so.
Adam wants you to talk your stuff, Tyler.
I think I've been doing a lot of that today. We've had a lot of tangents.
I like it. Would you trade the 201 and a 2020 or for a 2024 first?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Always. These are the best moves to make.
Dustin just bugging about the three sleepers. I'm a patron and I know better.
You do know better, but that's also how you know the three players that would piss me off the most. The patrons, they suggested that we should do a draft and I should be in it. And that they should force me to draft all of the players I hate and see if I can take it. And I was like, you want me to still like you, right? You want me to still give advice, right?
DeAndre Swift or CeeDee Lamb and Claypool. 12-team Superflex.
Lamb and Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
Claypool's good enough.
Javante or 102 and Bateman.
Okay, so essentially I'm getting Willis or Hall. And then Bateman. That's actually pretty fair. It's pretty fair. I'll take Javante, though. Barely.
Pretty fair, but I'll take Javante here.
I'll take Javante barely. It is close.
No gold. Speaking of the 109 and 110 seller, I recently sent away 111, 112 for Hollywood. Brevin. That, you know what? When we were talking about what to do with those late round picks, go buy Hollywood Brown, maybe. Or Elijah Mitchell's another one that seems to be getting some.
Yeah, Mitchell might be better. But either way, this trade, I like it because you're getting the 24 first. I'd rather have a 24 first over the 111. I'd rather have Hollywood over the 112. And then Brevin and thirds is thrown in is good. So, yeah, this is good.
Local liability. What's up, local liability? Appreciate you tuning in. And your question, 12-team Superflex, Waddle, Mac Jones, 302, or Mooney, Justin Fields, 109, and a 2023 first.
Okay. Why is my processing speed for some reason just went away?
Little
yeah, I'll take the Field side. Fields and Waddle are pretty equal, and then I'd rather have the rest of that over Mac Jones easily. I don't know why processing speed just went away. That trade's actually very unfair. It's not even close, right? I mean, this is not a close trade.
No, I want that same side too. Superflex league. I mean, one QB league. This looks different, but Superflex easily that side. Chris, what would you sell Kittle for in a Superflex 12-team tight end premium?
Still want a top 3 pick, and I feel like I'm not going to get it, so I feel like I'm going to hold Kittle.
Almost like you're in for the rest of his career at this point.
I think you are. I think with Kittle, you're in for the rest of his career. Kelsey, I actually feel like has more trade value than Kittle.
What's a good buy price for Tua and Superflex? Maybe the 109 and 110 based on our.
Okay, so people think I hate Tua, and I don't like him, but he's valued. This class is so bad. I mean, if you could send the 107 for Tua, I'd do it in an instant.
Nobody replies to more comments than Tyler on Twitter. Dude is on all day. Keep it up, man.
I respond to about a third of the comments that I used to. And that just means that I had 4,000 tweets this month instead of 12,000.
Always killing it.
Yeah, I really try to get to everyone, man. I mean, there's gonna come a time where I can't do it anymore. And, I don't know if the people have noticed, but I sometimes seem like I'm kind of more exasperated and more at the end of my rope than I have been in the past. But it's just, honestly, it's just that I'm tired of winter and it's getting to me. It's more that than anything in the fantasy community. I'm really happy with how that's all going.
Interesting question from Jason. 12 teams who reflects the QB passing touchdowns or 6 points, -4 for interceptions.
Yeah, so Scott Fishbowl scoring. This is Scott Fishbowl scoring.
Right. But is that standard? No, that's not standard scoring.
Not standard. Standard, I would say, is still 4 points for a touchdown and 2 for an interception. -2.
But in that scoring, does it favor the non-rushing QBs, Burrow, Mac? I think Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
Throw fewer interceptions.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is the king of that. A lot of touchdowns, not a lot of interceptions.
Recovering really truther on a contending team, Superflex 12 team. What would you add to Mac Jones to get Dak? Trying to do this in a league
where
I have Mac and it's not happening.
A mid-first at least to get to Dak. Yeah. Mac has no upside.
Do we like Miles Boykin now that he escaped from Baltimore and is a Steeler?
This is a serious question.
No, we don't.
3 years of nothing at all.
I used to really like Miles Boykin.
I didn't. I always thought he sucked.
I liked him.
No, he sucked. I mean, he was, he was never going to be good, and he was entering this Ravens offense. So we obviously didn't want him. There was some crazy people who were like, "Yeah, I like him better than Hollywood Brown," and I was like, "Okay." Don't take the guy who produced and was actually produced something in college and was picked in the first round. We don't want that guy.
Burner's burner, 12 team, Superflex Dynasty, 4-point passing TD. I have Watson, Prescott, Cousins, Carr, Mills, and Huntley. Congratulations. I'm going to win now and win later team. Doing both. I like it. Who would you look to trade? Best time to trade, what to trade for? Turn your quarterbacks here. What are you looking to do?
You're a little heavy at quarterback. So what I would look to do is there's a couple things you could do. You could either trade Dak or Watson down to another quarterback and get something else back, or you could just eliminate Cousins or Carr entirely. Probably Cousins, because people seem to like him better, and I have him ranked a lot lower. So you can maybe you should get rid of Cousins and try to get something at another position.
Could you look at this and say, like, Derek Carr might be... I mean, he might produce well. I kind of like Derek Carr, but is this kind of the high point for his value here?
Yeah, no. I mean, he's not that old. He's only 31, so I'm not sure that I would say that. But it's hard to imagine Derek Carr. Right now, I have him quarterback 15, and I'll assume that Malik Willis will be ahead of him. So he'll be quarterback 16 post the draft, and he's really going to be higher than that? Probably not.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could find a quick Cousins trade, but all of them are pretty convoluted with multiple pieces in it. So
I would say, you think you can get, I don't know, probably have to be a player who has some stink on them. I mean, maybe you could get like Michael Pittman and something else for Cousins. You should be able to get Michael Pittman and something for Cousins.
So if all of your positions look like this, Burner, in other words, like
anything, then you're good.
Then what I'm looking to do is like stack as many draft picks, and those are like you're almost taking these and just filing them away and holding value, right? Because then if I get some 2024 first or something, those are not going to go down in value for the next 2 years. It's almost like you're banking and investing those in the future.
Pretty much, yeah.
Gavin Grant, 12 team, 1 QB, Michael Carter and Juju and Ramondre, or Ayuk, 209 and a first in 2024.
Just give me the first.
Me too. Mark, a month ago, I traded 104 for Dobbins, and it was a solid trade at that time. Buyer's remorse now, though, has grown over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I would probably have some buyer's remorse too.
Okay, but do you think in 6 months you're going to be like, okay, gosh, I had J.K. Dobbins. I could have had, let's see, this doesn't say if it's super flex, but
yes, I think it's
White?
no. 104 is not going to be Rashad White.
One QB. That's where the ADP is.
No. The 104, not Rashad White.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had that filtered out. Oh, shoot. Sorry. It didn't sound right when I said it. Okay, Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks is the highest ceiling of any wide receiver in this class. So, yeah, very possible you have really bad buyer's remorse.
Okay, maybe.
So, yeah, absolutely. You could have huge buyer's remorse. I'm not doing this anymore.
I feel like it's overreacting, though.
I don't think so. I mean, most of the time when you start hearing bad injury news, the preceding news after is more bad. Usually more.
I don't know that we got like anything definitive on his injury. Like it didn't sound.
It was definitive. He's not going to be ready. He's going to start the training camp on the PUP list. So he shouldn't be starting the training camp on the PUP list? He was injured in late August. He should be ready for training camp. So he's not going to be ready. So that's already a problem.
Jaden Sharp says, I have a strong contending team for this year and looking at trading for Leonard Fournette. What are the chances his value drops after this draft? Do you think he's worth 201?
There's a small chance that the Tampa Bay could end up with Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker, and then it would drop. Yeah, significantly. Yeah. Small. I'm more worried about Arizona and James Conner. More worried that they take a running back, actually, than I am with Tampa Bay. With Tampa Bay, I think it's a little less likely. I think they feel a little more committed to Fournette than Arizona to Conner, but that's just mostly because Tampa Bay was a better team.
So would you put James Conner pretty high on your like must trade before the draft list?
No. Michael Carter and Miles Sanders are at the top of that list. They're the ones I actually, and Devin Singletary, they're the ones I actually think are going to get replaced.
What are you getting for Devin Singletary right now?
I'll take whatever I can get. I really do think
anything.
I mean, I'll take a mid-second, and I think you can get
this
that
year or next year. Could you get it one in 2023?
Either. I'll take either.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I've been saying this a lot. I think Hall, Buffalo 25. It'll be Walker, Jets 35 or 38, and then I think Philadelphia at 51 picks somebody, whoever they like. Could be Spiller, could be Cook, Zamir White could be another option. Probably not Rashad White, but there are options. So those are the ones I think are going to be badly damaged.
Eric, I always love it when Eric agrees with me. It makes me feel smart. Hollywood earns targets. I'm not putting up with this nonsense.
Well, I wish he'd been more efficient on the targets he got. That's the problem. Look, the problem is that as I'm in a weird place with Hollywood because I'm parroting the negative Hollywood points, but I actually have Hollywood ranked pretty high compared to most people. So I feel like I'm one of those people who's because I notice Hollywood is like an all-in or all-out player for most people. I feel like I'm one of the rare people who has a middling opinion on Hollywood. I have people telling me that he's going to be like guaranteed wide receiver 2 production, great, and he's not great, and he's not guaranteed wide receiver 2 production. Those are lies. But I also have people telling me I don't want him on my team at all, and I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. He's a wide receiver 3 who has boom potential from week to week. You don't want that player. So I just think that the people with their narratives are a little ridiculous with Hollywood, and I'm kind of in the middle. And I think, oftentimes I am in the middle. I'm usually the cold water analyst. I know it doesn't seem that way on here, right? Don't confuse the personality for the ranks. Just because I'm passionate about something doesn't mean that my take is hot take. I have a lot of not hot takes, but the people don't want to hear about that. They want to hear me bash Saquon Barkley. They want to hear me bash Clyde. They want to hear me bash Juju. They don't want to hear this measured, middling take about Hollywood Brown, which is actually how I feel.
He's 24 years old.
Doesn't make good TV.
Yeah, he's 24 years old. Here are some players who played more games than him last year and scored less fantasy points. DJ Moore. T. Higgins.
But those are
Aaron
all
McLaurin. No, T. Higgins played one less game, excuse me, but still.
But those are all better players.
Devonta Smith.
Well, that one I'm not sure if he's actually better.
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know what else he has to do. He had more. He averaged more points last year than DK Metcalf.
It's because the points came at the beginning and not the end. That's
The
why.
targets came after, though. That's the thing. Is
I
like
know,
you can't
but
just
that's why he's not ranking as high. And I think people are just stuck on the idea that Rashad Bateman is a better player. And I think that Rashad Bateman has more upside. Rashad Bateman has more of a ceiling. Maybe not on this team, but Rashad Bateman has a better profile than Hollywood Brown. But that doesn't mean he'll be a better player. But his profile was better. If they were in the same draft, drafted with the same draft capital, with no NFL experience, I would have preferred Rashad Bateman over Hollywood Brown. If that's it, so I understand why people prefer Rashad Bateman. But
which one was drafted higher in the real NFL draft?
Weren't they the same exact pick?
Were they?
I mean, they were both late first. Brown was 25th overall, I think, and Bateman was maybe 26th. I think they were almost exactly the same pick. I know they're both late first. So they're almost exactly the same.
This is where we need a fact checker.
Yeah, we need a fact checker. What about that? Can we have a fact checker? But they have almost identical draft capital. But I'm just saying they are identical. But if they were in the same year, same draft capital, same team, same peripherals like that, I would have ranked Bateman as a prospect ahead of Brown.
All right, let's move on. Addison says public counter offers for accepted trades is a 24 to 48 hour period after a trade is accepted for other people in your league to beat the offer on either side. Highlighted in a video to spice up the league.
I'll promote another DLF. Is it DLF? Well, whatever. There's Ryan on it. So it's Ryan McDowell. So it must be somewhat DLF. The Commission Impossible podcast has talked about this many times. And if you haven't listened to this, I actually listened to their podcast today. They didn't talk about this, but they talked about other things. And I would suggest listening to it. You can binge it. It's actually a really good show. And, you know, I actually listen to it. I don't just, you know, I'll be honest, like I don't just promote stuff from DLF if I don't actually listen to it. There's a lot of pods. I don't listen to them all. But that one I do listen to. So I would suggest listening to Commission Impossible, and you'll hear about you can start from the beginning, but they talk about this so many times and they explain it in much better detail than I ever could. So go for it. I would say it's a lot of fun. It's a lighthearted pod too.
Marquise Brown was 25th overall, whereas Rashad Bateman fell all the way to 27. So clearly Brown is better.
I almost got it exactly. I said 25th and 26th. That was very close.
Dad 30 says, Tyler, what wide receiver is equal value to Tua in a Superflex league? Is it Judy? Amonra?
Nah, it's way higher.
Way too low.
Way higher. You're going the wrong way.
Yeah. Like in other words, he reached too low there.
Yeah, no. The wide receiver I have closest to Tua in a Superflex league is DJ Moore. This is just what quarterbacks are worth now. This is what they are. You don't like it? Fine. You don't like Tua? Fine. But don't complain about Tua. Complain about the value of quarterbacks in a Superflex league.
Trade him for Marquise Brown and Elijah Mitchell, because apparently nobody wants those guys.
Yeah, I'd rather have Tua in a Superflex league over those two combined.
Wow. Okay, give 101 and Allen Robinson, get 104 and 107 half PPR Superflex league.
I'm going to take the 101 and just take my stud instead of maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Justin says, love the show. Great work, guys. Appreciate that, Justin. Trying to wrap it up here. Trying to get to as many of these.
I can give the people some bonus time, but on that last offer, is maybe a consideration without Allen Robinson, but they shouldn't be adding to the 101. It's close as it was. So, yeah.
Alejandro says 12 team Superflex, Noah Fant, 204, and 2023 second for Ayuk and Ertz.
So I prefer Fant over Ertz just for the age and, you know, Fant maybe eventually having a career somewhere, but not by much. And now I'll take Ayuk over those picks. So I will take the Ayuk side here.
Yeah. There's a world in which like this becomes a really interesting year for Noah Fant, right?
That's not the planet that we live on. That's a different universe. That's a universe that not the one we live in.
You don't feel like he could establish himself in a way that he did in Denver, or you feel like this is more of a like Jonnu Smith to Patriots type?
No, he's not really been effective. So why would he?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, That's what.
And why is it? It's going to be better now when Baker Mayfield is the quarterback of the Seahawks. Things are going to be better, right?
I do think Ertz is like a great late round.
Ertz is a good late round buy,
contending team. Like, go get Ertz because I feel like he could be like pretty special next year.
But Fant is just. I feel bad for him because he didn't get the opportunity to play with Russell Wilson, and now he's stuck with Drew Lock. It'll be Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, interesting. Recovering to the truther. That's what I told. Or that's what I told him about Debo. Stuff from an hour ago. Even he's a bitter Niners fan because all year, looking back, there's been quite a lot of drama in San Fran.
Well, I think what's going on is that they don't have the money to pay Debo because they haven't cut Jimmy Garoppolo yet.
Yeah.
The fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the 49ers is mind-blowing to me. And I will tell you that there is no chance that he starts 2022. It's every report is Trey Lance was the starter. Trey Lance is the starter. If they can't get a deal, they're just going to cut him. But they can wait until August 31st to cut him. And also, here's the other thing. Why not wait? If you cut him then, he's less likely to be used against you by the Seahawks. If you cut him now, he's on a plane to Seattle immediately. Immediately, right? If you're Seattle and Jimmy Garoppolo is cut today, you don't call him? I think you do. So and then you don't have to pay him $25 million. You can pay him like $5 million. So no, they're going to wait until August 31st to cut him. But that's actually what I think they're going to do. I actually think they don't want to make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I think they want to cut him so he doesn't start anywhere else. They want to screw him because of the shoulder surgery that he had. They're mad. They're being petty. That's legitimately that's what I think is going on. By the way.
Anthony is sorry if you missed it. We didn't talk much about Etienne, though. Do we have thoughts on Travis Etienne, where he is?
I mean, I like him, but I am worried that Jacksonville's going to add a running back because they're in a similar situation to Baltimore. 2 running backs, both injured. Mm-hmm. Can you go in with that? Can you go in with 2 running and that's it? Probably not. So Melvin Gordon could be Sony Michel. I don't know. I mean, where do they have 2 picks in the 3rd round. They could add like a James Cook there, Rashad White. So
almost like they're going to end up with Boston Scott. Like I just feel like that's inevitable.
I thought the Eagles would
re-sign with Doug Peterson. Oh, is he? I don't know. It just feels like it's going to happen.
But no, for now, I have Etienne right in between Jacobs and Montgomery. If this is really all they have and it's just Etienne and Robinson, then I'll move Etienne up, but I'm a little nervous. Whereas Jacobs and Montgomery, I don't think they're going to be more additions to their backfields.
Just traded Etienne and 109 for 107, 2023 first, 204, and a 2023 second. What do you think?
I'll take the 107 side. I mean, 23 first, 204, and 23 second is more than enough for Etienne, and then 107 is better than 109. So I'll take that side. It's not crazy if it's a 1 QB. If it's a super flex,
pretty fair.
Okay.
Pretty fair. 12 teams super flex, half PPR, traded 101, Fields, Bateman, Judy, 4, Mahomes, 202, Jacobs, and CEH.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously want Mahomes. Judy and Jacobs are pretty similar. I'd rather have Bateman over the CEH and the 202 combined or close to it. That's kind of close. And then 101 in Fields for Mahomes. That's also close. That actually is close. I mean, I have the 101 at 23 overall and Fields at 25 overall. So that's the 211 and the 301. If you're in a startup, do you trade the 102 for the 211 and the 301? Probably. So I guess I'm going with the Fields side.
I want the Clyde Edwards-Helaire side.
Yeah, I don't want that side. Jacob Clyde Edwards-Helaire side.
Jacob Johnson says only 3 players have had 2 consecutive seasons with top 12 target share and 2 consecutive seasons with a top 20 air yard share. AJ Brown, Jefferson, and drum roll, Marquise Brown. The other 2 are Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown. Yeah.
Now I get it. I get why people like Hollywood Brown, but you have to look at the whole picture.
Yeah, I agree. You do.
I don't see it.
Kyler or Burrow?
Kyler.
It's still Kyler.
People don't like that though, but they should read my article where I broke down the fantasy points between Kyler and Burrow, and it wasn't very close.
Yeah. And I love Burrow, and I think the only proper spelling is Burreaux, which he had at LSU for his senior night. I love it. I love Burrow, but Kyler can be a cheat code if he has a 17-game healthy season. He's going to be a cheat code.
If the people remember one thing, it's that Super Bowls don't win you fantasy titles.
Right. By Apple Pie, 12-team Superflex, Lamar, Dobbins, Albert O, or Mariota, DK, Elijah Moore, and the 102. 101 says he's going Brees, so 102 is Willis. Interesting.
I mean, Alberto and Mariota are kind of equal, and Dobbins and Elijah Moore are pretty equal. So DK and the 102 are Lamar. That doesn't feel like
DK and Willis.
So yeah, DK and Willis are Lamar.
I think I want Lamar.
Yeah, I guess. It's close.
Oh, 2023 first for Kittle. Superflex, tight end premium.
Good luck.
I think I'd want that, but I don't think you're getting it.
I want that, but you won't get it.
What pick value-wise would you trade for Ertz?
So let's say it's Superflex tight end premium. I have Ertz valued between the 210 and the 211.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to cost you a lot.
No, it might cost you even less than that.
Go get him.
Yeah.
Nick Lester, especially if you're a contender. Like, I just think it makes too much sense. Oh, here we go. Lots more late first, early second round pick questions. Nick has the 108, 109, 205, 304. After the NFL draft, is there a clear tier break in the 104, 105 range? What do you think would be appropriate package to move up? How about sending 108 and 109 to move up to that 104, 105 range, or is that too much?
So what is this? Let's say it's a super flex. So one of the tier break in a super flex for me is probably at 6. And it's a 5 and a 1 QB. You know, add Malik Willis. So I don't know if I want to move up to 104 or 105 then. We'll see.
So like Superflex rookie, you got Brees Hall, Malik Willis, Kenneth Walker, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Drake London.
The answer to this question of what I said 8 and 9 for 4 is no. In any format.
Chris Olave and Kenny Pickett? No.
QB, I like it better. In Superflex, less. Because then the quarterbacks come in at 8 and 9, potentially. Right. I like it a lot less.
Yeah.
And 1 QB, I'd consider it more.
Yeah. Unless you're getting up and getting Brees Hall. I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough to evaluate these kind of traits.
C-Man Rules says thoughts on Darren Waller this year with Adams joining the Raiders. So
yeah, talk about hating Darren Waller, but I have Darren Waller 8 spots in my rankings higher than his ADP. So maybe I don't hate him. I hated him, but now I think I've reacted to these offseason moves. I think this is what I'm noticing. I've reacted to these offseason moves less than other people because I had Darren Waller 2 rounds below his ADP before, and now I have him a round above. So somehow he moved like 3 rounds. So I don't know. I guess I'm more in on him then. But I don't really like him either. I would sell him. I mean, he's going to turn 30, but apparently you can't get the value I would want. I'd still try.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think your redraft tight end rankings are going to look like? I'll have the redraft rankings, I promise, by June 1st. But I'm focused on rookies for now. But, I mean, what are your redraft rankings going to look like at tight end? I mean, I would assume your contenders at 1 and 2 are Kelsey and Andrews, and you can have those in whatever order. But I think that'll be the top tier. And then after that, who comes next? Some combination of Kittle, Waller, Pitts, I would say, and Hawkinson maybe are the next few.
Okay. Yeah. So speaking of tight ends, well, actually, let me get kind of in just a second. Let's get this one. John says, I'm wanting to trade out of the 102 and non-flex. Is it worth risking it for a potential top 4 2023 pick? I say no.
No, not without getting more.
Mention of Kelsey having more trade value than Kittle. I'm in a Superflex league where I roster Mahomes and Kittle. Do I explore using Kittle to trade for Kelsey? Stack the KC combo.
Too cute.
Yeah.
I think this is the year, by the way, that Kelsey drops off. But I have no basis for that other than that no tight end has ever been anything special past 32. So it's either, there's really two choices. Really. The two choices are Travis Kelce is the best receiving tight end ever, or he's not. And he starts to decline. Those are realistically though, those are actually the two choices. Now, if there's anyone I think could be, it is him. But that's what you're weighing. Is Travis Kelce the best receiving tight end ever, or is he not? I'm going to say I don't think he is, but a lot of tight ends declined around 32 and never recovered. Olsen, Witten, Tony Gonzalez is the big one. You know, that's when the plug was pulled, right around 32, and he's 32 now, turns 33 in the season. So I'm saying this is probably the drop-off point, but, you know, he could be the Jerry Rice of tight ends. It is possible.
Amari Rodgers plus a 2023 first, or Michael Carter and a 2023 third.
Give me the 23 first.
And drop Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, you can drop Amari Rodgers.
How about Jarvis Landry to the Saints? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't really like him fitting in there, but I think it's good for Jameis Winston.
Here's the thing. Right now, Landry, Odell Beckham, and Tyrann Mathieu are all free agents. Let's just get them all to New Orleans. That would be amazing.
Here's what I think the Saints should do. Here's my opinion. But you're a Saints fan. Why don't you tell me what you think of this, okay? Right. I think they should sign Jarvis Landry. I like it. Mm-hmm. And then 16th overall, pick Jamison Williams. Now, how about that? So you could have Michael Thomas, at X, Jamison Williams at Z, and Landry in the slot. How does that sound? I think that sounds great.
Who else is available at wide receiver? I think Addison's convinced me I don't like Jamison Williams.
I think that's a big mistake. I would like Jamison Williams because, he provides that speed element that the Saints.
Is Drake London there? Can I have Drake London instead?
Can't. He'll be gone.
Garrett Wilson, is he?
Garrett Wilson will definitely be gone.
Any chance Treylon Burks falls?
But if you have Treylon Burks, Michael Thomas, and Jarvis Landry, that doesn't really work. You have no speed. You have slow, and slow. I don't think that works in today's NFL. Garrett Wilson would work there. Garrett Wilson would be great, but I don't think you're going to have access to Garrett Wilson. I think
people are going to hate it when the Saints take an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman with those two picks. They're just going to hate it.
Kenny Pickett. I heard about Kenny Pickett today.
Oh, that would be great. I'd love that.
They committed a lot of money to Jameis, though.
No, not Pickett. I don't want Pickett. Sorry, not Pickett. Wait, hang on. Wait, what's the other quarterback?
Corral.
Who do I want?
Corral.
No, I want Sam Howell. That's who I want.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can have him at 49. You're not going to need to pick him in the first.
Chris says, great show, guys. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Should 49ers package Jimmy G in the trade with Debo? No.
This is a serious question on Twitter, and they were asking me if they should talk to the Panthers about trading Jimmy G and Debo for Christian McCaffrey and something else. And I was like, well, that would be insane, but I don't think trades like that usually happen. But maybe
Christian McCaffrey in a Shanahan offense?
Yeah. And Debo on the Panthers with Jimmy G.
It's like a fantasy trade, though. I like those aren't real life trades.
No, I don't think so. I think Debo's going to the Jets.
Which answers the next question from Peter. Realistic landing spot. I'm going to say he ends up with the 49ers.
Well, the best realistic landing spot is not the Jets. That's not good, but it is realistic. I don't know. Is there any good landing spot that's realistic for Debo?
Titans.
Anywhere? The Titans are not good.
Ooh, what about the Falcons? I know that sounds crazy.
No, that's not a good landing spot either.
Hang on. What if he takes that Cordell Patterson role and makes it 1,000 times better?
Nah. They already signed Cordell Patterson. They're not going to bring in Debo also.
Mark says, I love the Hollywood Brown Hour. I have one or both. I'm assuming he means Bateman on all of his teams. Good stuff.
I think go on the Chargers would be good. I think. How about that? I think if he went to the Chargers, he would fit in really well there. I think. No, there. I take it back.
Oh, Patriots. That's where he needs to go.
No,
That's where he needs to go.
no, that would be a disaster.
No, that would be so good.
There is one spot where he would fit in great, but the 49ers won't trade him there.
Try and sell
Arizona. What if he were on Arizona?
No way.
No way. But could you imagine if he were playing the Rondale Moore role?
Oh, I don't think I'd like that, actually.
Oh, I would.
Sell Burrow for Dak plus?
Sure, but it needs to be a plus.
108 or Tony? The one QB.
That's too rich for me. I'll take the 108.
Terry McLaurin, Knox, 102, 2023 first, or Zach Wilson, Chark, Akers, Logan Thomas. There's a throwback. Is he still around? 101 and 2023 third. Wow, you buried the lead there with the 101.
101's all the way at the end. This is a 1 QB. So
buried the lead.
Yeah. It's a lot of
on here.
The computer is functioning.
I want the McLaurin and the 2023 first 102. I want that side.
Really? No, I want the other side. I want the other side.
Oh, you know what? I didn't see Akers in there.
Yeah, Akers. So like Akers is worth more. Akers is worth similar to the 102 in a 1 QB, and then I'd rather have the 101 over everything else.
No, yeah, you're right. I thought I didn't even see the Akers side there. So to me, the other side seemed.
So yeah, I'll take the 101.
Party people, what's up? Open 24 hours. Appreciate you tuning in.
Happy Tuesday.
Always. Zach Cooper, Superflex, full PPR, Malik Willis, or Devonta Smith in 204.
I will take Malik Willis, and I feel bad for Devonta by a lot. Actually, this is not close, and I feel bad for Devonta Smith because I think Devonta Smith is a good player, but he's stuck in a not so great situation, and it's only going to get worse. Philadelphia, to me, is almost a lock to add a wide receiver at 15 or 18.
JL in the house. What's up, JL? He says, "What's up?"
Oh, JL. When do I get to go back on Front Yard Fantasy? I writing during the day. My invite to return to FYF must have been lost.
How many times have you been on there?
Just the once.
Oh,
I wanted to go back.
I got 3. No, 2. Wait, 3?
I wanted to go back.
3.
My invite's lost.
I got my punch card going.
Seriously though, JL, tell Jay to hit me up, and I will.
His DM. Jared, LFG means let failure go. That's pretty good. Debo to the Lions? We don't want
failure go. I kind of like that.
We don't want Debo to the Lions.
No, I don't like Debo to the Lions, but I like let failure go.
Honestly, anywhere Debo goes, he's going to be less valuable. I'm sorry.
That's true. There's no landing spot other than maybe the Chargers where he would be more valuable.
Michael Carter or Tony?
Tony.
Ooh.
I just am so confident that
I love Tony. I'm surprised you say that, though.
Yeah, I'm so confident that Carter's going to be replaced. That's the problem. And if I'm wrong about that, then I'll change the ranking. But I'm really leaning that way. So I don't want to be left holding the bag.
Are we selling Higgins?
No. Why?
Yeah, I don't think so. Cordell Patterson or anything else?
Just give me Patterson here.
Really?
I mean, I don't want this. So 312. I mean, that's nothing. So I'll take Patterson.
I don't want. I feel like I take anything for Patterson at this point.
If I play Patterson in 3 games, he's worth more than the 312. So.
Thoughts on Jayshon Corbin? If you watch his tape, he's really fluid runner, really popped up the screen at the combine as well. Out of anyone in the running back group, do you have any thoughts?
I have not watched Jayshon Corbin's tape, but I am interested in him as a sleeper. I have heard and looked at some things, and I've heard good things, so I'm in. But he's got to get drafted. If he goes undrafted, I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ranking on DLF with all of our rankings.
My rankings are there, so I have him at 54th overall.
Yeah, among rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're spending if you're taking the 507 in this trade, and use it on Deshaun Corbin. Thanks for all you do. By the way, great show. Thank you, Ridley Truther.
I wish you good luck in your recovery.
Absolutely. 12 teams Superflex 2024 first and 2023 second for Elijah Mitchell.
Nah. I'm not risking it.
Yeah, I like Zach's comment here. Hoping that he gets any draft capital. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you said.
Hope so.
2023 second for Rager, N'Keal Harry, and a 2023 second. Is it just to get rid of? I would take the side that just has the 1 second, so you don't have Rager and Harry on your team anymore.
Yeah, it's a weird trade, but sure, whatever. Rager and Harry infest your team with the infestation of failure. And the reason I hate them the most, these are two of the players I hate the most, is because I was fooled into taking them in rookie drafts. So I have an irrational hate, especially for Jalen Rager. N'Keal Harry's longer ago, so I'm not as vengeful. I blame that on other people who told me to take him, but Jalen Rager is my fault.
Jalen Rager and N'Keal Harry or Hollywood Brown?
Hollywood Brown.
Any thoughts on Tyler Beatty as a sleeper?
None more than he exists. Do I even have him in my rankings anymore? Oh, I do. Yeah, I talked about him a little bit on the running back show. I touched on him. I have him 35th overall, but I'm not, whatever.
Late round pick.
I don't have much to say. He's outside. So I did running back and wide receiver rookie previews on my own channel, and he was outside of the range where I really had big discussions. Pierre Strong was the last running back that I thought was really relevant. Tyler Beatty he's actually the highest of the irrelevant. My top sleeper, I guess you would say.
Maybe one of those role player type that you hope.
Put it this way, he's the first running back in the sleeper range, the way I ranked them, that I didn't really research. So, it is what it is. With those guys, I'm like, I could waste time and research them all before the draft, or I could not do that and just actually research more on the ones who actually get drafted.
Superflex, Travis Etienne, or 108 and 109.
Picks.
There's more ideas for what you can do with those picks if you have them late in your draft.
Well, no, this doesn't help you if you have the picks. We're not making this trade.
Let's see. Thanks. Y'all
you're not
answer the question.
For either Rager or Harry, so good luck with that. And thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. Thoughts
on Breece as the 101 and what landing spots hurt his value? We talked a little bit about this.
He's a fine 101. I mean, he's probably not going to be ranked quite as high as the 101 as Najee Harris was last year, unless he gets perfect landing spot. And then, I don't know. He's fine. He's a fine 101. There have been 101s that have been better, like Barkley and Zeke have ranked higher. But, he's fine as a 101. And as for what landing spot hurts his value, Tampa Bay would hurt a little bit, but not overly so. I mean, Buffalo is the ideal landing spot, so anything that's not Buffalo would be a little bit of a downgrade. But I don't know what's realistic that would really worry me. I mean, the Jets are a realistic landing spot that would not be great, but it's okay.
Yeah. From a realistic standpoint, there's not. But the thing is, one of these running backs is going to go to a place that makes no sense to us, and
happens every year.
It's going to be like something you're expecting.
With Travis Etienne, I think, going to Jacksonville.
Yeah. Like San Fran, I guess, or would kind of be like that, right? Minnesota or something like that. All of a sudden, you're like, whoa.
Whatever it is, don't panic. Trust the talent eval. I've learned that lesson.
Right. Let's see. We still have Malik at 102 in a 10-team Superflex, or is value lower and take Walker. Yeah, in a 10-team league, your quarterbacks do take a little bit of a hit.
I'll have Malik at 102, though.
102 in 1 QB leagues. I know who your answer is.
It's Walker.
Yeah.
It's Walker. And I've taken a lot of heat for that, but I will not change my mind. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm not going to change my mind before the draft. Maybe after, but not before.
And with that, we are wrapped up here. That is a great Taco Tuesday. I appreciate everybody in the chat, all the questions. Tyler, Amazing job as always, answering questions and giving us some insight. I always get smarter. When you watch this back, you're going to be able to say that you got smarter by listening to yourself as well. And I appreciate everyone. Any last thoughts before we sign off?
Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you're getting 1% of the questions I answer. I answer a bunch of questions on Twitter. And on the Twitter, you'll find the link to my Patreon if you want to ask me extra questions. But do not limit your questions to just this hour and a half to 2 hours. There's a whole rest of the week, 6.9 other days. So, just don't limit yourself. I'm always out there. So just
one more of these, like next week, it's like draft week. So one more of these before it gets real.
6 shows, I think, in 7 days.
Yeah.
Totaling about 20 hours. So
Tyler's got his show on Thursday. I know me and Addison right here on Thursday are going to have we're going to have some of the Dynasty Grind folks. We're going to have Dynasty and Chill at the end.
We're competing. Competition. Friendly competition.
Yep. So gonna be fun though.
Yeah.
Why not watch both? You
should.
All right. Well, with that, appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next time on